All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So this is a viewer request video looking at XELA, FRC, and then if there's time, I'm going to try to throw in HKD as well. Man, XELA, it wasn't that long ago that I was actually wildly bullish on this stock. Basically this entire week from the 10 to the 17. We can clearly see why this thing failed. It's that red line, the 50 moving average, right? That said, look, that's a monster percentage of a move. Obviously, it's a single penny. Sounds insignificant for sure. But when you only have 4 cents and you're adding one more, my goodness, that's a fat percentage, right? So just keep that in mind. That said, we'll talk about why it failed and clearly what's happening now, bad things as we're trading under the 8 and the 20, right? So I'll get into the details shortly, but real quick, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages, the horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like, subscribe, share, comment, anything you can do to the video really does help with the YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? And look, I'm not perfect. I'm not all-knowing. I have no crystal ball telling me what tomorrow's going to do, right? So, yeah, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, all right? I'm not here to disagree or hate on you. And, yeah, if you're right, trust me, I would love to know, okay? So look, let's get into it. And before I get deeper in the technicals, I just want to stress one thing. Look, the beauty about my swing trading is this. I can be really bullish for a single week, try to make some good double-digit gains, and then once I know game's over, I'm going to go back to being pessimistic and take my money out and just wait, all right? And I have no problem, for real, waiting until that right week. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. I know it sounds boring to hear me just say, look, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20, bad things happen under the 8 and 20. For real, once you can get over them, once you start heading to that next moving average, and look, I prefer something like this, which essentially is slow and steady, 4 good, 5 good candles, versus a silly gap up that's gonna lose, right? Like, this is what we wait for, all right? And it's hard to do, but I promise you, it's actually wildly easy to do if you're willing to just, you know, be dedicated to the lines more than like the love and the passion for any 4-letter ticker. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, hopefully you bought that. From here, we're just going to go into the technicals, right? So look, moving average theory is essentially once you can break this one, you go to this one. Once you can break this one, you go to this one. Once you break this one, you go to this one, right? And that's what we were seeing here. We break the 8. We break the 20. We couldn't confirm until we do, right? So, and then we come here. So a couple things. Number one, a doji never counts. What's a doji? It's this. When you have a big stick up, a wick up, almost equal wick down, and then pretty much no body in the middle. This is obviously a lot more textbook because it's literally a line, but believe me, that's a doji as well, okay? This does not count. The fact that it got over the line for real means nothing to me at all, okay? Generally, I always say the day after a doji should be pretty telling of what the truth is, and boom, we see it right there, all right? And then not too much further then, we start losing the 8, we start losing the 20, and then we start trading under both lines, right? And look, that's where XELA is right now. We are under the 8, we are under the 20. This doesn't look fantastic, okay? This doji right here is a little interesting to me though, all right? Let me tell you why. Generally, if you watch my videos, you know I talk about 50% candle, all right? If you can start to like regain 50% of a bad one or at least hold 50% of a good one, I'm gonna be happy, all right? This doji, not quite 50%. I think it's a little under, right? Because it obviously closes down here, right? Green outline is better than green filled in. I do have a video about that if you don't know what that means, right? But yeah, we're a little lower than 50%, but maybe this little candle and this little kind of up curve on the RSI, maybe we come up to here. Now look, I wish I had more decimals, but going from the 0.03 that we're at right now, if I had to guess, that's probably 0.033, right? Because this is the 0 line. That's probably the half line right here, if I had to guess, and then that's obviously the 4, right? But if we can go from a lower 0.3 to this higher 0.3, almost 4 cents, that's a near 30% swing, okay? So just look for the 8 on another system that has more decimals is essentially what I tell you. But look, my guess of what might happen is we've fallen under the 8. We might try to come to the 8. I don't think we're going to break the line. All right. That said, we've gone under. I think we might try to come to it one more time. And then, yeah, I don't know if we're going to break it or not. But again, not breaking it is still a pretty good percent gain from where we're at. Listen to me. I would for sure make that trade only if you're intraday trading. I would not buy, go do something else, and then come back to your computer to see what happened. All right. Because for sure, this is under all 5 moving at, where's the 5th one? There it is. It's under all 5 lines. It's under the 8 and the 20. It's consistently under the 8 and the 20. And it likes to do this. It likes to make little moves to the 8 and then fall. Little moves to the 8 and then fall. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting bad things continually. However, like I said, there might be a chance that this comes up to the line before going back under, all right? Can't imagine the weekly chart is good, and it's not. All we are doing is staying under the 8 moving average. Again, we break it once, can't confirm. We break it once, can't confirm. Once we can break 2 weeks in a row on the weekly, this stock will turn around. If we can break it and then the next week go up again, yeah, that's when XELA will turn around. That's when you'll start to hear me say really good things. And again, it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's literally a 2-week process for this thing to like sustainably stay bullish. All right. So XELA, not beautiful, but maybe a shot on Monday. FRC. So obviously FRC is no longer FRC. They've added the B, and we have now dropped from the big tickers to the small pink over the counter. All right. So, rough to say the least. However, all right, let me zoom in because a lot of it matters here. Where did we open? We opened, and it's funny, right? I get to see so many decimals on this one, but not on XELA. There's a couple things I don't like about this system, but it lets me do so much with the moving averages that it's kind of worth it. You know what I mean? So look, this thing opens at 3, 4, 5, 3. All right, we are at 3, 4, 5, 1. If we can break this candle, honestly, if we can break 36 cents, yeah, 37 cents, I think might be the money line on this stock, all right? I'm going to for sure set an alert for 37 cents. Excuse me, okay? An alert is not an immediate buy notification, all right? But, and then look, just going from 34 to 37 is already going to be a roughly 8, almost a 10% swing, right? So that 3, I'm willing to throw away the 10% because I think after 37, that's where things might get silly. I mean, look, this is nothing more than red. And look, do I genuinely believe this is going to come to 14? Hell no. Hell no. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. Hell no. I am not thinking about $10 on a 34-cent stock. However, if we can break 36, the first number I'm going to think about actually is 290, all right? I'm going to come to the weekly and we're going to set a couple lines because, yeah, this makes sense. To me, this is going to be a really important line. I'm taking 50% of this big candle. Again, this is not perfect. I'm sure if I go a little higher, it's probably going to be a better 50% line. Look, we are not here for perfection. Being pretty close to good enough it'll no, we don't need that because the other one was 3. So I'm going to delete that. Okay, we're going to come back to the daily. This is my expectation right now. I think if we can break 37 cents, there's a good shot this thing runs to 104, 105. If it breaks 105, that's when we would say, let's come to $3, all right? It's going to all be about Monday. And look, Monday, if it goes below 30 cents, yeah, 31, 30 cents. Let's call it 30 cents. Let's call it 31. Fuck it. Let's call it 31. If this thing goes below 31 cents, it's game over. Hit the eject button because, like, this is going to go even lower and lower. Look, we're under the 8 and the 20, all right? Like, this is not, we're under all 5 moving averages. We are in all-time lows, right? Like, there are so many bad words I just said over that last couple sentences. However, going from 34 cents to $1, shit, I'll take that all day if it happens, right? So that's what we're hunting for, but for sure, there's so much bad happening here, all right? And honestly, I do not think we're getting over the green 8 moving average. I think 3 will probably be the cap on this thing, but I'm not even sure we get over 104 in all honesty. That said, sexy trade to say the least. That's at least is that a 4x? It's at least a 3x right there, right? So this should be on your watch list actually for Monday, all right? And again, 37 cents is what I'd be looking for. All right, let's squeeze it in. HKD. All right, I know a lot of people connect this thing to Megal, all right? And Megal did really silly things. I think people are kind of expecting HKD to do it. Maybe it did do it. Or, give me a sec, sorry. I don't actually know when Megal's was. Oh shit, it was the same time. Look at that. Nice. You can tell I wasn't looking at HKD. I did see Megal, but I made a video on Megal actually. Look, I've always noticed that HKD and Megal kind of move together. When one does well, the other does the same day, as we just kind of saw it was on this day, or it might be the day after, right? Nonetheless, just look at this stock, right? Like, all we are doing is trading under the 8 and the 20, all right? I don't know if you watched the XELA part or if you just skip to this, but I really believe this is a lot like XELA, all right? The goal is to sit patiently and wait for the good moments. And really, as I look at this chart, this is the only good moment. I don't like gap ups, all right? Obviously, I like them in different situations, right? But this gap up, I'm telling you, no one would have known it was going to happen. This gap up, like, there are no indicators that, like, let you know, all right? Maybe this one, because that was a doji the day after was good, and then some big things happen. I'll at least kind of say that. There's maybe a little bit of indication there, but for real, this, I don't think so. You know what I mean? Maybe they're kind of, maybe it's kind of the same FRC assumptions that I was just making on the last part. But again, just know that what we're looking for, and when I say we, it's me, right? But what I'm looking for is real sustainable trading, not these silly gap ups that just pump and dump after, right? So for me, what I really want to see, honestly, I need this stock to sit over, like, what is it? 736. Right? I want to be over these 3 lines, and I want to be over more than just one day and then a silly pump, you know what I mean? But honestly, I wouldn't touch HKD under these 3 lines. That said, if we can break the 50 and hold it, the next place we're going to want to go is the 100. That's how moving average theory works, right? And to go from 7 something to 9 something, that's a sexy trade for sure, right? So honestly, I know it sounds silly, but this thing just, I'm more than happy to give up the dollar to go from 660 to roughly 760. I'm just kind of rounding, right? But to go from 7 to 9, hell yeah, right? So that's really my 2 cents on this. I don't want to spend much more time on this because look, this is a bad daily. This is a bad weekly. You know what I mean? So Friday's candle did do better than Thursday. That is at least decent to see. I wish these were kind of setting up a little better, but yeah, again, I'm not. Get me over 735. Keep me over 735, and then I'd be way more interested in this one, all right? Hey, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think if you disagree. Otherwise, you know I appreciate your time. Thank you.